Is it just me, or does it seem like there's going to be a nuclear explosion coming pretty soon?
Allahu Akbar!
Here's something crazy. It's from the Jerusalem Post. I don't know how much you want to believe that, but I believe this. Climate scientists warn Gulf Stream in state of collapse. You don't say. No, we have till 2050, 2100, right? That's what the model said, you know, with the variables that you put in. The AMOC, which contains the Gulf Stream, is currently at its weakest state in over 1,000 years. New evidence has indicated that it could already be nearing complete shutdown. This is August 8th, 2021. So this is pretty cool. Artistic rendition here of the planet and all the little currents, and apparently this one here is pretty important. Climate scientists have detected early warning signs that the Gulf Stream is in a state of collapse. Well, that's indicative of the entire planet, indicating that it may have already been losing stability over the last century, which could lead to severe consequences for the climate. Probably wasn't in the modeling. I bet if they put that in there, it's going to lead to some pretty severe consequences in the near future. At the top of the ocean, it transports warm water masses from the tropics northward, while cold water is transported south at the ocean bottom. It influences weather systems worldwide, making the consequences of a potential collapse all the more dangerous.
Mega doo-doo.
And all the pollution is already in the atmosphere right now. The AMOC is currently at its weakest state in over 1,000 years, meaning the currents have slowed, and new evidence has indicated that it could already be nearing complete shutdown. And then everybody who thinks we actually have 50 years is going to be like, see, if we just do it now, there's still hope. YouTube will never push your algorithm if you're speaking the truth. So, such an event is considered one of the tipping points of climate change. Yeah, like the release of carbon into the atmosphere from soil at a certain point. It doesn't hold it. The permafrost emits all kinds of greenhouse gases. The melting ice. Oh, those aren't tipping points. The burning forests. The Amazon just going up in flames. Not tipping points yet, though. Whew. All right, guys, just get in your electric cars. Hurry up, get in your electric cars, and everything's going to be fine.
Daniel?
And these tipping points of climate change are defined as large, fast, and irreversible changes to the climate. So no matter how much you think taking a shorter shower is going to keep the water from drying up and raining down all over already flooded places, then you haven't been paying attention to what's going on.
He needs some milk!
In the event of the AMOC collapse, rainfall would be disrupted in India, South America, and West Africa, which would cause mass food shortages. But I mean, who cares about these places, right? Increasing storms and colder temperatures would be felt across Europe, and the sea level would rise off the eastern coast of North America. The Amazon rainforest and Antarctic ice sheets would be further endangered. Well, I mean, if that doesn't sound like a super accelerated abyss to hell, then I must not be reading that correctly. However, due to the complex nature of the AMOC and the uncertainty of future global warming caused by tipping points, there is no way of knowing how close to total collapse the system is. Whew! So just don't be an alarmist and everything will be fine. Scientists say it could happen within the next decade at soonest. What's that, 2030? But that several centuries could still pass before it does. So, I mean, it's no big deal. There's no way to accurately estimate the time frame. Breakfast! But we can accurately estimate how much longer we have due to global warming. Don't worry about that. We urgently need to reconcile our models with the presented observational evidence to us. Oh, you need to change your variables? You need to add another variable? Okay, let's see what comes of that. Boers explained that the CO2 level which would trigger an AMOC collapse is also unknown, which means that the only possible thing to do in order to prevent it from happening is to keep emissions as low as possible.
Have you ever had a dream you could do anything?
From this point forward, or because last time I checked, emissions are definitely not as low as possible. The likelihood of this extremely high impact event happening increases with every gram of CO2 we put into the atmosphere. Well, how many grams do we have in there, buddy?
21.
A number of factors besides CO2 emissions also factor into the breakdown of the AMOC system, including freshwater inflow, which is also directly linked to climate change, especially when it changes the weather pattern system. As the Greenland ice sheet melts, it continues to melt even faster. It increases the amount of freshwater flowing into the sea. Freshwater is lighter than salt water, which means it prevents water from sinking to the bottom of the ocean, a process which is key to the continued movement of the AMOC. Ruh-roh! It's melting pretty fast up there and all around everywhere. But, you know, we got till 2050 to get to net zero. While the time frame and exact trigger for the event are unknown, except for by God, scientists are certain about one thing. The collapse of the AMOC must never be allowed to happen. Okay, alrighty then. We have so much control over it at this point, right? No, we did, but it's too late. Shoot. Well, we can talk about what's going on in the Middle East another day, but here's some more climate change stuff that's reinforcing the fact that we definitely don't have until 2050, 2100. It's been too late for that. So let's see what happens. There's a lot of stuff going on. I feel like now it's super accelerated. I think back to the videos I was doing at the beginning of the year, and it was like, oh, there's a riot at the Capitol. And now it's like, I mean, a full-on pandemic that just keeps on raging, and we're about to have mandatory vaccines, and the economy is just hanging on by a thread. I mean, inflation feels like it's ready to strike. You got the Middle East is just basically imploding. China's threatening to nuke Japan like multiple times. shipping is all disrupted, running out of money. Can't just keep extending all this free stuff. I mean, water's running out. They can't even have their dams producing electricity when they need more electricity than usual because it's so hot. And people need to run their air conditioners and stuff. So this is happening fast, I think. But for me, I feel like I already knew this is how it was going to happen, because that's why I don't feel like we have until 2050. I'm looking at what's actually happening around us. I mean, you want to talk about tipping points. Permafrost is melting. Ice is melting. And CO2 and greenhouse gases just keep getting pumped and pumped and pumped from us and from the planet and from everything. Fires. You've got forever chemicals. You've got brain-eating amoebas. You've got bacteria and gain of function and all kinds of stuff going on right now. This is a crazy time. And it feels like it's just all bottled up, about ready to pop. So we'll have to see how we navigate this, but I just thought I'd point out the Gulf Stream. So if you haven't heard about that, I'll leave the article in the description, and you can just Google it and you'll find, CNN and other things. I just happen to pick that one because I like the title of it. I like the picture. So check it out and let me know what you think. I mean, you think we can fix all this stuff? Is a guy like me just sitting on here over exaggerating? Like, what's the haps?